When people look at you, they should be able to trace a dimension of God to you, and you will not contain or sustain any dimension of God that you have not seen. Worship is a state of submission to God. When you submit to God's authority and God's government through revelation, what comes out of your spirit, the response that comes out of your spirit, that is what the Bible calls worship. It could be a song, it could be an act of obedience, but it is streaming from your submission to the authority and the supremacy of God. And so for us who are ministers, we must come to a point where we understand that this thing is not showmanship. This thing is not an ambition to prove to the world that I'm making it. We must come to a point where we understand that this thing is not, oh, I have giftings and talents and I will show it to my generation. This thing is an act of worship to God. These are the kinds of people God is looking for. He said the Father is seeking worshipers who will worship Him in spirit and in truth. I've discovered one error, especially amongst young ministers. They think ministry is a stage where they just show up to display what they have. They think ministry is an ambition. They think ministry is a height that they attain, and so for them it is success. My generation must know that I am something. This thing is not about declaring to your generation that you are something. This thing is not about showing. You are not here for showmanship. You are here to worship a king that is eternal and immortal, and until that becomes part of your life, you will not strike a chord in eternity. The second thing that God looks at for those who are His ministers, that gives relevance, credibility, and meaning to their existence, is the extent of intimacy that we have with Him, the knowledge of God, the experience of God that you have. Ministry can become so busy that if you are not careful, you want to get all the strategies right, you want to get all the externals correct, and you don't have time for Him that dwells in the secret place. If you don't have the knowledge and the experience of God, you have nothing to offer to your generation. What we are doing here is not preaching intelligent sermons. What we are doing here is opening a vote so that God can flow to a generation, because ministry is actually an overflow of your saturation of God. And so everybody who will have anything qualitative for his generation must know God by experience, must interact with God intimately, until when He shows up, like Paul said, henceforth know we no man after the flesh. When people look at you, they should be able to trace a dimension of God to you, and you will not contain or sustain any dimension of God that you have not seen. The Bible said when we look upon Him, we shall be like Him. So it is in the place of intimacy that ministry is granted to a generation. And so every minister here must understand that our second pursuit is the experience of God. What is the weight and the quality of your experience of God as a minister?